we're factoring trinomials today. And we have x squared plus 7x plus 12. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to have you do is look at the signs. Okay, so what's going on with the signs here?
It's a plus plus.
It is a plus plus, Dylan. So that means that we're going to put our two parentheses out, and we're going to go ahead and put our signs plus plus. And we can fill in the rest of the blanks later. Number 2, we're going to take the square root of the first term. Okay, so that would be this guy over here. We're going to take the square root of that first term. And what is the square root of x squared?
2 or 1, x or x.
All right, x and x. So we'll put that there in our two parentheses. This is a lot like difference of squares. They start you out on that first because it's easy. All right, so now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this right here, this 12. And what we're going to do here is we are going to figure out what multiplies to equal 12 but adds to equal 7, pardon me, not 12.
What?
7.
What?
Okay.
Multiplies to equal 12.
Yes, we're looking at the 12 that's in the red box, and then we're looking at the 7 that's on the center term. Okay, so going through what you know about 12 and what multiplies the regular old factors of 12, what's going to multiply to give us 12 but add to give us 7?
5. Oh.
Think about things that multiply to make 12.
Oh, 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Very good. Now, because the signs are the same, I can put my 3 and my 4 in either place. It doesn't matter because the signs are the same. Everything adds up to be 7, and that is my answer. X plus 3 and x plus 4. Now, if you want to, you can check this using FOIL.
Why does it have to add up to 7? I love foil.
Okay, well good. Then you're in the right place. All right, so you can take that x plus 3 and that x plus 4, and you can distribute first out or inner last, and you can get x squared plus x times 4 is x times 4.
X, 4x.
4x plus 3 times x, which is 3x plus 3 times 4, which is 12. Combine your like terms, and you have x squared plus 7x plus, oh, I didn't put a plus there, plus 12. And that is the same thing that you had up here. So that tells you that your answer is correct.
Can't you, like, do this by, like, reversing foil to do the exact same thing?
Well, that's basically what we're doing. We're just doing that in different steps. Okay, let's do number 7.
No, darn it.
Did you not get that?
Gosh, dang it.
We're going to look at the signs here. First thing, so we have a plus and a minus. So that means that the signs are going to be what?
Negative. Plus and a minus.
A plus and a minus. Thank you, sir. They are going to be different. Okay, remember what MC Sante says, the great math prophet. MC Sante says, same signs, positive, different signs, negative. Yes. All right, so we have looked at our signs. We have put plus, minus. Now we're going to take the square root of the first term. And what do I put in each of my parentheses? N. Okay, square root of n squared is n. Now, I have to find something that's going to multiply to give me 18, but also add to give me a positive 3.
3.
I need two numbers, people.
3 and 9.
Multiplies to give you 18.
9
Multiplies,
and
multiplies to give you 18.
9 and 9. 9 and 2.
Two.
9 and 3.
Okay, but not, shh, be quiet. But 9 and 2
Add.
doesn't
But
subtract
nothing
out to give you 3. Well, what's another factor of 18?
Three.
Some more, 3 and 6,
Oh, yeah, I
okay?
forgot about that.
All right, so 6 times 3. Now, your job, because the signs are different, is to figure out where the 6 and the 3 go. Because you need a positive 3, what are you going to put behind the positive sign?
3. Wait, no. Yeah, there.
And. No.
3.
I need 6 and 3 to subtract out to give me a positive 3. Where am I going to put the 6?
The 6 behind the positive.
Behind the plus sign and the 3 behind the negative, and that is your answer.
Why does it have to give you a negative 3?
Well, it's going to
Don't make that noise.
it's going to multiply out to give you negative 18.
Wait,
But the 6 would,
why does that
go-
one subtract and the other one add?
okay.
Look at the sign.
Shh. Let's FOIL it. This will answer many questions, I feel.
Yes.
All right, so first, outer, inner, last. All right, so n times n is n squared plus 3 times negative 3 times n.
Why isn't it writing?
Because I was thinking. Plus positive 6 times n plus negative 18. When I add those together, I get n squared plus 3n plus negative 18, which I'm going to change to n squared plus 3n minus 18.
Yeah, that was.
Okay? Does that make more sense now as to why we have the signs that way? Okay? All right.
There we go.
Yes, this is on your example page. The first thing we're going to look at here is our signs. What did we say was going to happen when we had two subtraction signs?
It would be plus and negative.
Yes, it would be two different signs. So plus and minus. Okay? So, now we take the square root of the first term. So it's what?
B and B.
B and B. Okay. I'm s-
Plus minus.
Well, what's going to happen is, hang on, let me fix that right quick. What's going to happen is it multiplies to make a negative here, but it's going to subtract out to make a negative here also. Remember what MC Santi says. Same signs, positive, different signs, negative. Okay. All right, so now we need something that's going to multiply to make 63, but that's also going to subtract to give us 2. So what are we going to do?
Wait, I don't understand that part.
63.
So you have to have something that will divide into 61.
63, no. 63, it's 1 and 63. Not a 2, it's 3 and 21. 4, go into 63, no. 5, 6, 7,
Isn't like 7 like 9?
7 and 9, yep.
Nope.
All right, and there's the 8 doesn't work, so we know we're done. All right, so 7 and 9 are 2 apart, so you think they might work?
Yeah.
All right, if I need a negative 2 here, what am I going to put behind that negative sign?
5.
9.
The 9. And then what am I going to put by the positive sign?
7.
The 7. Because what I want it to do is, I want it to be able to subtract out to be a negative 2.
But
So,
7 minus 2 is not 2.
yes, but we need a negative 2. We need more negatives. We need 2 more negatives than we do a positive.
I still don't.
So what we're going to, well then let's check it. B plus 7, B minus 9. We had a whole discussion about order too in the last class. It does not matter what order you have them in. What order doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter because it's multiplication. What does matter is whether or not you have a negative or a positive. All right, so I'm going to multiply here, do my FOIL, and what do I get? B times B,
Times B is B squared.
B squared, plus B times negative 9 gives me
-2.
negative 9B. Okay, plus 7 times B gives me
So 9B, 7B.
7B, good. And negative 9 times positive 7 gives me
Negative 63.
negative 63. Now when we combine these like terms, what do we get? Negative 2B. And then we get negative 63 at the end.
I just like, the only part I can't comprehend is just like the 63, and then you subtract that to get 2.
Well, yeah, well, it's not the 63 you're subtracting. You're multiplying to get 63. This is multiply. This is add and subtract right here.
So you multiplied, you're not dividing anything?
I mean, other than the square root, which is it's not really division, but
So you have to find something that multiplies in the 63.
multiplies to give you 63.
And subtracts out to those numbers.
It's like those crazy puzzles they used to make you, those crazy, I'm thinking of two numbers and they add up to be blah, 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 and multiply to be blah, blah, blah. What are they? You know, those puzzles we used to do as a child. Well, guess what? Here they are in algebraic form. All right, last one. Okay, now I have two different signs. I've got an addition sign here and a subtraction sign here. Well, what is going to...
Both negative.
They're both going to be negative. All right? So I'm going to set up my parentheses with two negatives.
Then
Okay.
square root x, and then you get
Good.
x on both sides.
All right, so x and x, square root of the first term.
And then 12 and 2 multiplies into 24.
It does, but it doesn't add up to give you 11. So you would say negative 12 plus negative 2 gives you negative, what, 13? So we need something else that multiplies to give us 24, but adds up to give you 11. What?
47.
That's not 24, that's 28. 8 and 3, very good.
So, what is the, Oh, so when you multiply it, or when you add both numbers, it gives you 11. Okay.
There you go.
So, what is the, how do you know, like, the order of 8 and 3? Like, where do you, how do you...
It doesn't matter because these are both subtraction signs right here. So
What happens if they're, like, addition?
if it's different signs,
Yeah.
that's when you have to figure out, this right here will tell you, where do I need to put more negatives or more positives? And that's how you line them up on that one. Like this one right here, this problem, we needed 2 more negatives, like right here. We needed 2 more negatives than we needed positive. So that's how we got that.
So the less number, the number with...
Well, we needed 2 more negatives than positives. So that's why I set up the 9 under the negative, because the 9 has more than the 7 does. So that would end up, positive 7 plus negative 9 gives me negative 2, and that's what I need. So that's how I got that.
Oh, so if you did negative 9 plus 7, it wouldn't give you the exact same thing? No,
Yeah,
no.
it would. It would.
Oh. I'm just confused on that part.
It's okay. All right, one more thing, and you don't have to do this in your book, but we've got to talk about greatest common factor. Remember we had greatest common factor with our difference of squares? Well, you got it with this one too. So let's look at... We're going to go to number 36. We're just going
What page is this on?
to... it's on 19.
Are we still on the same example page?
If you have room, great. If not, you can do it in your notebook, in your binder. Okay, so we need to find the greatest common factor first. And then, whoops, double whoops. And then we can factor the trinomial. So out of these three terms, what is the greatest common factor?
5.
5. Very good. So the greatest common factor is 5. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did earlier with difference of squares. I'm going to put my greatest common factor on the outside, and then I'm going to divide every term by 5. So I get,
X to the second,
good,
negative 3x,
okay,
negative
140.
negative 45. No,
5 goes into 14
Twice.
two
Oh,
times.
twice.
With 4 left over. 5 goes into
24.
40.
It's 24.
5 goes into 40 how many times?
8.
8, so it's 28. All right. So now that we've got our greatest common factor, it's going to stay on the outside. Now we need to break down our trinomial and factor that. Now we have double negative signs again, just like we did a minute ago. So what does that mean for the signs in our parentheses?
Positive.
And
Negative.
negative. Lovely. All right, so square root of the first term, and that gives us what?
X
X.
on both sides.
Okay. All right, now I need things that are going to subtract out to give me a negative 3 that also multiply to give me 28. Any suggestions?
2 and
7 and 4. Okay, where does the 7 go, Noah?
Will that be the first parentheses? You said would that be the
Well, what do I need here?
7 plus 4 is 11.
A negative.
They're subtracting out. So I need a negative
Four in the
3.
first one,
So,
put 4 in the first
No,
one,
7
and then
goes
7 in the last one.
so 7 goes behind the negative. That's what I'm wanting y'all to
Yeah.
tell me.
Yeah.
And then 4 goes behind the positive because we need more negatives than we need
Finally,
positives.
I get this.
Okay.
I finally get
It
this.
is not that bad. It's just got some steps to it.
At
and
first
that's
I
our
was
final
completely
answer.
confused.
Yes.
Alright, and then for homework, is it finish